Okay, so tired eyes.
Hmm.
I mean, who hasn't been there, right? You know that feeling like you've been staring into the void, which, let's be honest, is like our computers most of the time these days.
Yeah, sadly.
But today we're really diving deep on this one. We want to get beyond, the surface level stuff, and I think we've got some really interesting insights to share.
Oh, yeah, for
We're
sure.
going to be talking about like those sneaky causes, the stuff we don't always think about, and maybe even more importantly, like what to watch out for. When does just having tired eyes become something a little more serious?
Exactly, yeah. And this article doesn't waste any time. It jumps right into all the different things that can cause tired eyes. Some of them, maybe not so obvious. For example, we all know screen time, right? But they really get into the why.
Okay, so what's the deal with screen time? Yeah, it's tiring, but what's actually like happening in our eyes?
So when we focus on screens, phones, TVs, computers, all of it, our blink rate just plummets. We just kind of forget to blink.
Huh.
But it's important, right? Blinking, helps spread tears across our eyes, keeps them lubricated.
So less blinking equals drier eyes. I get it, but there's got to be more to it. If that was the whole story, we'd all have like sandpaper eyes by now.
Right. And this is where something else comes in. They talk about air quality, like dry air, whether it's from like AC or heating systems or just low humidity. It can actually make the effects of reduced blinking way worse.
Whoa, I never thought about that connection. So dry air makes the dryness from staring at screens even worse. It's like a double whammy. But okay, let's talk about other symptoms aside from just dry eyes. What should we be looking out for?
Well, I mean, there's the obvious one, blurry vision.
Right.
But they get into some other stuff that's not quite as obvious. Things like headaches, even neck and shoulder pain. Some people even experience dizziness and nausea.
Wait, hold on. Dizziness and nausea from eye fatigue.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, right?
It does sound a little wild.
But it's all connected. When you strain your eyes for a long time, it doesn't just stop there. It creates tension in your neck, your shoulders.
Oh, okay.
And that tension, it can spread. That's how you get headaches, dizziness, even nausea in like really bad cases.
So it's like this domino effect, starting with our eyes, and then bam, hits our whole system.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so important about, articles like this. It's not just about like, here's a quick fix. It's about understanding the bigger picture.
Totally. So we've talked about the sneaky causes, the weird symptoms, but now what can we actually do about it? I know the article mentions that 20-20-20 rule. Is that like the be-all and end-all?
It's a good start, and they explain why it works. Remember how we were saying focusing on screens like kills our blink rate? Well, this rule, it's all about counteracting that. Every 20 minutes, you take 20 seconds to look at something at least 20 feet away. It gives your eye muscles a break.
Okay, yeah. Like hitting reset. But
Yeah.
what about people who, like, literally work on screens all day? Any other strategies?
Oh, for sure. And this is where it gets interesting. They talk a lot about lighting, specifically the difference between ambient lighting and like those harsh overhead lights.
Ambient lighting. I feel like I've heard that, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
It's pretty simple. It's just about creating a softer light. Instead of one bright light source, you want something more diffused, spread out. Think lamps, natural light, even candles, if you're feeling fancy.
So instead of relying on those overhead lights, which can be kind of harsh, we want a more, I guess, balanced lighting situation.
Exactly. And they even get into the science. This type of lighting reduces the contrast between our screens and like everything else around us.
Huh. So it's not even just about the brightness of our screens, it's about the surrounding light too. I'm like already thinking about how I can rearrange my office.
Right. And don't forget those artificial tears,
Oh, right.
especially the preservative-free ones. If you're dealing with dry air, they can be a lifesaver.
Preservative free, got it. Okay, but this is what really got me in the article. They talk about eye fatigue and our emotional state. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like kind of out there, but they make a good point.
Yeah, they really do. They talk about how stress and anxiety, like, it can manifest physically.
Yeah.
And one way it does that is through muscle tension.
Oh, right. Because like we were saying, eye strain can lead to tension in your neck and shoulders.
Exactly. And stress just makes it worse. It's like this vicious cycle.
So it's not just that, when we're stressed, we tend to stare more, which I totally do, by the way. It's like the stress actually makes the physical strain worse.
Yeah. And it goes even deeper than that. They mention some research that suggests, get this, that our emotions can affect our blink rate.
Wow.
When we're stressed, we actually blink more. But here's the thing. Those blinks, they're not as effective. Like, they don't fully clear the eye.
So you're blinking more but not getting the benefit.
Exactly.
Man, it's crazy how much goes into something as simple as tired eyes.
It really is. It just goes to show you got to look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
You can't separate the physical stuff from the mental and emotional stuff.
100%. So we've got all these practical tips, right?
Yeah.
The 20-20-20 rule, the lighting, the eye drops. But, like, managing stress, that's got to be up there, too.
Huge. Mindfulness, exercise, even just like stepping away from the screens for a bit, doing something you enjoy, it makes a difference.
Give yourself a chance to reset.
Totally. And speaking of resetting, one more thing I thought was really interesting was how lighting affects our sleep.
Oh, right, the whole blue light thing, keeping us up at night.
Exactly. It's all about the light temperature. That blue light from our devices, it tells our brains it's daytime, which is great during the day, not so much when you're trying to sleep.
So are we doomed?
Yeah.
Like, destined to be sleep deprived because of our phones?
No, not at all. Just be mindful. In the evenings, switch to warmer lighting. Dimmer switches, those warm-toned light bulbs. Light some candles. And if you have to use your devices, try blue light filtering glasses or those apps that reduce the blue light.
That's good to know. I'm like completely rethinking my whole lighting situation at home now.
It makes a difference.
This has been really eye-opening, pun intended. We went way beyond like the basics here. The way our eye health connects to our environment, our emotions, even our sleep, it's wild.
It really is. It just goes to show you can always learn something new.
Exactly. It's all connected, right? Well, on that note, I think we've officially reached the bottom of this deep dive. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's been great chatting with you.
The pleasure was all mine. Seriously, I could talk about this stuff all day.
And everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll be back next time with another topic that's sure to surprise you. Until then, take care of yourselves and those precious eyes.